Tim Walz already aided in the alienation of male voters from the Democrat Party by insisting that a real man is someone who follows the lead of a woman. And now he's attempting to connect with male voters by revealing the deep hatred and discontempt that he and his family have for himself. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 200,000 subscribers, but let's start by watching Tim Walz engage in this public humiliation ritual.
My question is, how do we speak about and plan for the inclusivity and diversity of opinion that we need to rebuild this country when those terms are being so demonized by the people holding power right now?
Well, Sammy, thank you. And to all the young people who are here, I just pause for a moment and look around and look at, I'm especially talking about these old white guys who seem to disappoint us on a regular basis in this country, but not this group.
I mean, the absolute embarrassment, the lack of self-awareness. He's still trying to engage in the identity politics that the American public outright rejected. And what's even worse is the data already showed that white males were tired of the constant attacks and demonization from the left. How can they possibly expect to bring back the male voting population if at every chance they get, they demonize them? And does he not understand the irony of talking about how old white men ruin the country, but yet he's an old white man? Just imagine the self-hatred you have to have for yourself in order to do something like that. And let me throw a screenshot of that crowd he was talking to up on the screen. He was saying, hey, young people, listen here. There is not a single young person in this entire crowd that he's talking to. That just proves that his message was overly rehearsed. He was relying on a crowd full of young people who were going to erupt in laughter at the old white guy willing to make a joke at his own expense that he knew would resonate with a radical, racist, white male-hating base. Imagine being a white person and even considering being a Democrat when the primary requirement is you have to have a deep self-loathing for yourself. But he continues trying to connect with the crowd by revealing something that his son said to him, hoping that it would get applause from the crowd, but instead it was probably the most humiliating thing a man can say publicly.
I got an 18-year-old, Gus, and I'm with Gus out there, and I'm having one of those dad talks with him. I was giving Gus my wisdom on what he had done wrong. You know, I was being, because I know these things, right? I'm the dad. In the middle of it, he gives me the old, says the guy who got his ass kicked by Donald Trump. And I'm like, okay.
Wow. Smash the like button if that was the most shameless thing you've ever seen. To proudly and openly admit that your son threw you losing to Donald Trump back in your face when you were trying to discipline him is emblematic of why males are allergic to the Democrat Party. It's not even that it happened. It's that you openly admitted it, as if it was aspiring, as if you were being vulnerable, as if males would be inspired by that, see you as courageous for sharing. Yeah, that's the kind of leader that men want to follow, is somebody whose son doesn't even respect them. Let's just remember, this is Tim Walz's son breaking down in tears when his dad was speaking at the DNC.
Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you. I'm letting you.
So you're telling me that same kid who was breaking down in tears over how proud he was of his dad now has such little respect for him that he's of the mindset, you can't tell me anything. You're the guy who lost to Donald Trump. Imagine your son thinking so little of you as a man. And that's the manly man that we're all supposed to relate to because, oh, he can fix a car. Now, I wanted to show you guys that clip first because now that you understand how Tim Walz's family is throwing him losing to Donald Trump in his face, you'll understand this next clip when Tim Walz is just hating on Donald Trump on MSNBC. Watch.
You almost have to be an amateur psychologist on this. It's like Trump is stuck in the 80s. His music, his clothing, his thinking. He has been on this tariff thing forever, and every economist, conservative or liberal, will tell you they just simply don't work. We use them strategically, but he doesn't fundamentally understand how trade works. It goes back to what I continue to say. I think the biggest myth perpetuated on this country is that Donald Trump understands anything about business. He's bankrupt every single one he's been into, and now he's bankrupting this country. So I appreciate you talking about this. This is a tax on working people that we've not seen in any of our lifetimes, and it is going to have dramatic effect.
I am completely disgusted at this anti-American, anti-risk-taking, mocking people who try and fail attitude that has taken over the entire left. America is the country that applauds the person who has failed 20 times and ultimately reaches success because they don't give up. But the left has become the party that's so against American values, they are shaming the exact spirit that made America ambitious and entrepreneurial. One of my favorite business stories is Ray Kroc, the man who turned McDonald's into what it was like 50 years old when he got started growing McDonald's. He spent his entire life trying things that failed. They didn't work out, but he never gave up. He was persistent. He always had hope and belief and ambition. And finally, in the second half of his life, that determination paid off, and it paid off massively. And that kind of spirit woven into every American citizen is what makes our country so special. So I have a very special dislike in my heart for the left for adopting such a loser mindset. But Tim Walz's constant American hating does not stop there. I know this week with the tariffs, the left's outrage is all about the stock market crashing, but just last week, they were the ones applauding Tesla stock going down over 50%. Here's Tim Walz on stage, jumping around like a little child, celebrating that Tesla stock is down.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, you know, and take out, just telling you.
Elon Musk is 100% right about this man. You have to be cut from the most traitorous, treasonous, Judas cloth that exists to be a United States politician and openly celebrating the downfall and collapse of one of its largest companies. Not only is Tesla the most American-made car company and employs tens, if not hundreds of thousands of American citizens, but it's also pioneering the world towards a more green and sustainable future, which I thought the left cared about more than anything else. But they always constantly reveal they're nothing more than moralless hypocrites. And the cherry on top of all of this is Minnesota, Tim Walz's state. Their pension plan is a massive investor in Tesla. So as he's cheering the collapse of the Tesla stock price, he is directly cheering for the erosion of the retirement fund that his citizens rely on. The New York Post reported on the clip I just showed you. They say, some of you know this. On the iPhone, they've got a little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping, Walz bellowed. And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take the dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, he added, gesturing some weird thing with his hands. Very inappropriate, since Musk and Tesla do employ American workers, and his pensioners own the stock. The Minnesota State's pension fund owns, according to its latest report, 1.6 million shares of the EV company in its retirement portfolio, and a little more than 200,000 shares in another investment vehicle. So you're talking about several hundreds of millions of dollars of stock that his state pension fund owns. So any reasonable, rational person would think Tim Walz is a complete idiot for this. But here he is, shameless as ever, on MSNBC, saying he wears those insults as a badge of honor.
Are you a creep and a jerk?
Well, that's a badge of honor if he thinks I am. Look, it's not personal with him. Oh, it's a little bit personal. I don't want to be disingenuous. The guy does bother me. It's a little bit personal. But look, my beef on this is that this guy is out there crying about his portfolio and about stock while I'm making, a comment. And my mom's Social Security check this month is late. That he's attacking the portfolios of working Minnesotans and working Americans who've paid into these programs that he calls a Ponzi scheme. He's taking it and laughing with his chainsaw about destroying the lives and undermining things and institutions that make life better for Minnesotans. Of course he doesn't care about these agencies because he has all this money.
So Tim Walz admits something that's very important because it's actually symbolic of the entire left. He has some unjustifiable gripe with Elon Musk that has infected his heart, his soul, and his mind so deeply that it makes him incapable of being a mature adult and governing a state of millions of people in a way that is successful for them because he has such a massive issue with Elon Musk. That is definitionally Elon derangement syndrome. It's the same reason all these crazy leftists feel so strongly that they're taking to the streets and keying swastikas into people's cars. People who have nothing to do with Elon Musk. People who don't have anything to do with Donald Trump. Just regular people who bought a cool car that was good for the environment. And you're keying swastikas on their car and calling them a Nazi. Last time I checked, it was the Nazis who were vandalizing people's personal property and drawing swastikas, not the other way around. And the second thing that he said, which was so disgusting and so disingenuous, was, oh, my mom's Social Security payment is late this month. No, it's not. Give me a break. No, it's not. The media is just waiting for Elon Musk to slip. And if people weren't receiving their Social Security payments on time, you don't think they would seize on that story? You don't think we would see it and hear it everywhere? We're not, because it's not happening. Trust me, if it was happening, the left media, the legacy media, is looking for any opportunity they can to tear down Donald Trump or Elon Musk. These people are just liars. They're fear-mongers. They're so delusional. They're so far gone. They're so embarrassing. They don't respect themselves. They don't represent anything any American would want to be associated with. And if you've got the guy who was running for vice president of the United States under the Democrat ticket showing this level of unapologetic embarrassment, I think it proves the Democrats are still stranded in the wilderness with no hope of returning to normalcy. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.